We have been speaking of Babuji's immense love for Lalaji Maharaj. He had only one love, and I used to think it was an obsession. I remember when we used to travel by air together. On one occasion, we were traveling by Scandinavian Airlines from Copenhagen to Delhi. It was a direct flight. And of course, we used to travel tourist class economy, as it's called. And we had to buy earphones to see the movies in those days. $2.50. So Babuji said, you buy one for yourself, two is a waste because I don't see anything. So I put them on and the movie started. I was watching. Every few minutes he would just pull out mine, put it on and watch, and say, waste of time, and give it back to me. And start something about Lalaji Maharaj. So after about 30 minutes of this, I said, Babuji, don't you have anything else to talk about other than Lalaji Maharaj? He said, look here, I'm telling you, in this world, there is no other topic worth speaking about. And he went on to praise Lalaji Maharaj. For instance, speaking about discipline, which is a subject which should be very dear to the heart of Abhyasis, he says, Lalaji Maharaj hated flattery, and though he loved his followers with all their faults, he was at the same time a strong disciplinarian. The discipline corrects the baseness of worldly passion, fortifies the heart with virtuous principles, enlightens the mind with useful knowledge, and furnishes enjoyment from within itself. Hence, Lalaji never failed to enforce stern discipline with love. One would not know that there was so much in discipline. The common understanding is that discipline curtails the individual's freedom. That's why there is so much rebellion against discipline. When we say, for instance, at satsang, please switch off cell phones. When we have a Sunday satsang, when there are about 3,000 people present, inevitably there are at least 3 phones which are on, and we hear it ringing during the satsang. Babuji goes on to say, with a view to train his fellow brothers and disciples, he performed the duties of a householder exceedingly well. He respected his elders and saluted them, exercised humility with those of his own age without resorting to humiliation, and loved those who were younger than himself. You see? And Babuji used to tell me that he had evening satsang at about 6 o'clock. He would wait, and at precisely 6 o'clock he would start giving the sitting, transmitting, whether anybody was present or not. And I said, why to those who are not absent? He said, especially to those who are absent, he used to cover, so that they should not miss because they were foolish to miss the satsang. So he included those who were present, of course, and thought of those who are not there, and this is what we have been trained to do. See the generosity of this Guru. It is like feeding people who are not here by a spiritual way and conveying the food into their stomachs by some yogic method, I don't know what. Coming back to the love story of Master, you see, he says in Truth Eternal, special personality, cleanse your manas with practice of sadhana and then go through literature, otherwise reality will be lost upon you. Avoid becoming a master and serve as a servant should. God has hidden himself inside your hearts and exposed you. Hide yourself and expose God. This is the real sadhana. You see, what is real love for God? It is a state when the trinity of the lover, the beloved, and love itself all disappear. So these are what Babuji Maharaj has emphasized, and some principles of Sahaj Marg are given by Lalaji Maharaj. Whatever searches for God is the Atma, and whichever is searched for is Paramatma. The seeker is Atman, the sought after is Paramatman. The soul of a human being will be clean in proportion to the power of discrimination he possesses. It is not knowledge, it is not purity, Discrimination is what? Because discrimination, if you have, and you have the will to use your discrimination to act accordingly, you are a saint. We, the lovers, are knowledge, and God is perfect knowledge. Rather, He is the form of knowledge itself. God realization is impossible without becoming a perfect man. So, I am giving an instance of Lalaji's capacity for abiding by the will of God. In his last days, he was suffering from abscess in the liver and was undergoing naturopathy treatment. Pandit Rameshwar Prasad Mishra, one of his disciples, was applying the mud poultice externally on his liver. He began to weep to see Lalaji in the severest agony because of the pain. Seeing his weeping, Master said, "It can be removed within minutes if I exercise myself," meaning my will. But I am not touching it because it is His will and we must abide by it. It is not only tolerance, it is acceptance of everything as divine will, reflected in the 10 maxims, as I said earlier, accept miseries as blessings of God. So you see, these are the things that Babuji Maharaj has written about his great master Lalaji Maharaj. I wonder how many disciples even think of whether they love their master or not. Because in my practice, in my experience with my master, which is now more than 40 years, 42 years, some 64 to 83, some 19 to 20 years of which I spent personally at his divine feet, accompanying him on his travels, living with him in Shahjahanpur, seeing his ashrams built in Shahjahanpur, eating with him, sleeping in the same room with him, alone, having mice go over our bodies all night, preventing sleep. Of course, Babuji did not need anything to prevent sleep. One question would keep him awake for 6 hours because a question led to another question, because each answer evoked a question. And we sat all night sometimes, till 5 o'clock, answering questions, whispering some secrets, even in that darkness of midnight, because he would always be, unwilling to share knowledge with those who did not deserve it. Nowadays, in the Western culture, there is this thought that every human being has a right to know. But in spirituality and in sacred knowledge, esoteric wisdom, there is no such right. The only thing that can endow this right upon you is your preparation to receive such knowledge. Am I fit to receive such knowledge? If you are fit, it will be given to you without your asking. If you are not, no amount of even begging will give you that knowledge. And it cannot be accessed otherwise than through the Guru. One must be like the mother with a baby. The situation is reversed. The mother is alert throughout the night. Even in deepest sleep, if the baby lets out a squawk, she is awake. Here the mother has to be alert. The mother being, at this time, the role being played by the Abhyasi. He has to be alert, while the true mother, the Guru, can sleep, and even in his sleep, he whispers your name, Yasmin. And in some mysterious way, you hear it, you get up, and you are there. He sees you and says, "I am glad you are here. I wanted to tell you something very important." And even if it sounds to you trivial, or as if you have heard it before, you should not say, "What is this old man waking me up at midnight to tell me something he has told me 75 times? You must be alert and ask why I am being told this again and again and again. Therefore, Babuji insisted on alertness all the time. He said, when you are with the master, you have to be alert 24 hours. If he even whispers, you must be instantly alert and sitting, waiting to receive. Such are the requirements of discipleship. And what is it that can produce such a state of alertness? Only love.